again. Don't think I ain't forgot. It costs a lot of money to go to Disney World, so alumni, please support it. Please give a big round of applause for our keynote speaker, Sherelle, Councilmember, the Honorable Sherelle L. Parker, Wildcat for Life.
Wow, this is pretty nostalgic. Now listen, Carlton started us off this way. And y'all gotta just grant me this, because for Kim, and I'm thinking about April Brown, I'm thinking about Lavinia, I'm thinking about being on the back of the bus and Coach Larry is in the front. Now I heard you, Carlton, y'all say it a little different now, but when Coach Larry was in the front of the bus, he would say, "Tell me how y'all feel. Tell me how y'all feel. What's our number? What's our number? Who we? Who we? What's the word? What's the word?" Numerous events throughout my life, and I know what it takes to cross the T's and dot the I's to make sure this is a success. I'm going to ask Eric Young, Leon Jones, Greg Bowler, my Heath Carver, Kim Jameson, Norma Williams, Tanae Robinson, my brother from another mother, LaVan White, and Carlton Williams. Stand up, y'all, and go to the center of the floor together. Just in 3 different ways tell you how I believe Oak Lane has impacted our lives. The first way that I think that Oak Lane impacted our lives is that it let us know that we are responsible for our children. It let us know, not government, not anyone else, that we were responsible for our own children. We knew we had a formula was the second thing, and the third thing now is that we must build strong pipelines. Mr. Wilson, I got chills when I listened to you talk about what it was like coming together. And Carlton, I start thinking about the stats, all the nasty, ugly Philadelphia stats. Highest big city with poverty in the nation at 26%. Over 500 homicides. Record-breaking numbers. The dropout rate in the city of Philadelphia. We always boasted a high rate of home ownership. Now y'all know we had something special uptown, right? I mean, y'all know it. Y'all know it's a little different, right? But listen, it was a little different because we had the majority of homeowners in the city of Philadelphia and not renters. And when you own, you take care of it differently. You sweep differently. You shovel differently. You use Windex, and if you don't have Windex, you use vinegar and water. You make it work when you own. We forgot some of those things. I want to say on today that our children aren't Cosby kids. When I came to Oak Lane Youth Association, Renee Christmas and Miss Christmas were the first coaches that I auditioned for. Competed. Sometimes Oak Lane, just as an FYI, they wonder how I survive in this thing when the waters get real deep and it seems like the competition is heavy. They want to know where you're digging from, Sherelle. You're a woman in a male-dominated environment. How you make it? Because I survived pantry pride. How you make it? You ever get through a Renee Christmas, Miss Christmas practice? You know Diane and Angie Brown? You know what it's like to do rally in the church on 74th Avenue with 3 sets of pom-poms in your hand because you can't shut your mouth? Listen, let me know that I was valued. Sherelle, why did you start with Coach Larry? Why does that opening matter? Why, when you think about Oscar Turner and James Brown and Wilson and my Slater and all of the men we saw, women, I saw black men as leaders in our community. And guess what? My father wasn't in my life, but my grandfather was there. And then I had these men there. And guess what? It wasn't just Oak Lane. Guess where they spilled over to? They spilled over to Concerned Black Men. They spilled over to the 50th Ward Democratic Executive Committee, where Hubie Rice just was, and so many others. They spilled over to the Finley Advisory Council that maintains Finley. So sometimes when people come uptown and they drive through this neighborhood in this region, they just think it's magical. How black people are still here, 96% black, and y'all still, mow your patch. Y'all still stand up and, advocate for that rec center. Y'all still trying to make sure Simons is improved. Yes, our people deserve it. You got weaved into this community, and we're going to continue standing on the shoulders and with the legacy of the Mr. Wilsons of the world and all of our founders and the men and women who sacrificed it. You better demand it. You can't stop. You can't sit down. You can't afford it. Carlton already told us that we had the solution. People are wondering, well, how are we going to get through these 500 homicides and all of this gun violence? I say, out of crisis comes great opportunity. Hopefully there are going to be more people who are going to dig in their heels. And Dwight, you were right. And duplicate the Oak Lane model. And do it in neighborhoods across the city. And do it in a very formal, institutionalized way. So imagine with the city of Philadelphia, you move into a neighborhood and you can type in your zip code and you say, where's the Oak Lane? And for that zip code, the organization that represents that zip code that your children can be a part of, it automatically pops up. You get a name, you get a number, you get an email. We can do this, right? Go take some leadership. Might take a wildcat to do it, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Might take a wildcat to do it. But I just want y'all to remember that sometimes we also need to do something that we haven't been doing well. I'm a certified secondary English teacher by profession. I'm a graduate of Lincoln University, first historically black degree-granting institution of higher learning in the nation, graduate of Penn. But a lot of people don't know I'm an English teacher before I got elected to anything. And one of my favorite poems by my soror, Nikki Giovanni, it is called Ego Tripping. Ego Tripping. Ooh. And in this poem, Nikki Giovanni takes us on a stroll through our history, on the continent, throughout the world, throughout the globe. And she reminds us that it's important for us to stop and smell the roses so that we can sometimes remember our greatness. Because in the midst of all that we're going through, all that is bad, we forget. Remember our greatness. And sometimes we got an ego trip. And so sometimes we all have got to remind people. Carlton didn't tell you a story. I know some people thought he was joking, but he was right. I don't know. Maybe we were on 5th Street, Carlton, or we were doing something with some money. And I was very diplomatic, as I always am, to say I congratulate all of the organizations that are competing in different leagues. I said, but you need to know I'm a wildcat for life. Okay? The final thing I want to say is this, and this is with my poet, Maya Angelou in mind. She says that in life, people will forget what you've said. They will forget what you've done. But they will never, ever forget